Coworker is too busy to do her job, gets a taste of her own medicine and then some. I am not the op. Op is you, huge second 215. Trigger warning. None that I can see. Less than. Mood spoiler. Satisfying. Less than. Context. Op is a English teacher in a school in China. Posted in R. Petty Revenge in March 10, 2023. Recovered via Untit. Let's see if you like a taste of your own medicine. I'm still getting a lot of heat for this, but only because of the escalation that occurred today. C. There is a faculty member. Let's call her Lola, who is beyond annoying. What makes her so annoying? Well, she tended to make everybody wait for her. It didn't help that she was the one responsible for supplying us with what we need our classroom. For example, when you try to get her to do anything or answer a question, she would always say, "Oh, give me a moment. I'm so busy," and never gets back to us. Sounds like nothing, right? Well, when you approach her again, Lola responded with the same response. Eventually, you would get so fed up with waiting for her that you would just figure out the solution on your own, only for her to complain that you should have waited for her. And when you tell her that we got tired of chasing her, Lola would always counter with, "I'm just so busy. You must be patient with me." This had been going on for about a few weeks now, but I mostly ignored her. I'm self-efficient and usually buy my own things. That was until she got involved in our Starbucks run. Every time we planned a Starbucks run, the process was always the same. We posted in the group. Everybody put down their order. And our boss collects and pays. But every time, Lola would say, "Wait. I'm so busy," only not to order anything an hour later. She did this a few more times until I announced that I had enough. My colleagues wanted to know what I was going to do, and I told them that I got an idea. So, on Monday, I started taking orders. She did her usual antics and I told her that she got 10 minutes. She tried to object, saying that she was so busy, but I stood my ground. 10 minutes later, I ordered. 30 minutes later, we got our order. And she was fuming. She tried to protest, but I told her that I meant what I said. Then, she said that I should have waited for her. I just tilted my head and said, African Americans will understand that gesture. For the whole week, every time she tried to talk to me, I would just give her usual response. "I'm busy." "Oh, give me a moment." And things like that. And I do mean every time. Soon, it got to the point where she refused to talk to me, which was fine because, again, I'm self-reliant. Now, here's where the real fun begins. My colleagues, on both sides, foreigners and Chinese, started to join in on it, which started to piss her off even more. Nobody wanted to let up even after being spoken to about it. We all just informed him that we're just doing what she's done to us. Then, today, the students, mostly HS students, got involved. I don't know if they saw what we did or heard about it. All I know is that they started to do it, too. And, being teenagers, they were relentless. Even when she said, "Hi," to them, they gave Lola her usual responses. After dealing with this for a week, she finally broke down and cried. I got called into a meeting with my boss after Lola singled me out. He told me that what I did on the side of cruel and requested that I tried to make amends with her. I refused and countered that she needs to grow up and stop acting like she was more important than she actually is. Right now, we are at an impasse, but I have this feeling that I got my point across to Lola. Update posted in R, entitled People, March 13, 2023, /update. Well, looks like she like her medicine. Now, this is a continuation of a story from Petty Revenge. I would have posted the update there, but I figure it would fit better on this sub. I'll the beginning story on here so you're not lost. Editor's note: I deleted this portion of this post that repeats the first post, word for word. Now for the big meeting. At the initial meeting, my boss wanted me to apologize because, in his words, what I did leaned on the side of cruelty. I refused, and that activated a meditation between Lola and I which we just got concluded today. To put it simply, I'm fine and she's gone. In fact, I didn't really have to do much. And everything took about an hour to conclude. Allow me to paraphrase everything for you. My memory is good, but it's not eidetic, so I'll focus on the important bits. Cast: me, Lola. LB, Lola's boss. MB, my boss. So, for starters, we all sat down, and Lola started off by demanding that I apologize to her in front of the school for making her cry. Her boss seconded that, and both of them had smiles on their faces. I flat out told them that wasn't going to happen, as I would have to tell everybody why I'm forced to apologize. Lola: you made everybody hate me. Me: I didn't make anybody do anything. What I did was show you what you were doing and how inconvenient it was for everybody. What they did was like the idea and joined in. LB: you still need to apologize. What did you be petty and cruel? I recited a quote from one of the Redditors who commented on my story. Me: if I'm being cruel by doing the behavior, do you think it was also cruel when she was doing it? Because I can tell you it is humiliating to be ignored and told to get over it. Lola and LB looked at each other with blank faces, and that's when MB chimed in. This is where I got a little nervous because of our last meeting. But he surprised me with this question. MB: Lola, do you understand what your job entails? Quote: Lola: yes. MB: was it explained clearly? Quote: Lola: yes. MB: then, why am I getting receipts of things our teachers had to buy when it's your job to get it for them? Quote: now, it was my turn to have a blank face. MB explained that he found it odd that I refused to apologize, as, in his words, as childish as op can be. He does have the sense to admit when he's wrong. Crude, but accurate. So, he decided to do some research. He reached out to both foreign and Chinese teachers that were associated with me and gathered information about Lola's antics. MB took out a folder that showed conversations that he had with numerous teachers along with their receipts of what they asked Lola to acquire for them, which she never did. Lola: well, me. Let me guess. Mimic Lola: I'm so busy. I know I'm petty. Lola frowned: so, is everybody going to be mean to me? I can't help. MB: Lola, what have you done for our teachers? Quote: Lola got quiet at that question. However, that didn't stop her from staring daggers at me, nor did it stop me from smiling. LB began speaking to MB in Chinese. Passionately, I might add. After a bit, MB and LB looked at me. LB: can you, at least, apologize for getting the others involved? Quote: me: I do apologize for that. It was meant to be between Lola and me. No one else was supposed to get involved. Lola gave a triumphant smirk before saying, now, we can get back to work. Me: I couldn't help myself. I can get back to work since I actually do my job. Lola's jaw dropped at that comment and looked at my boss. Lola: are all foreigners this rude? Quote: me: some of us even know how to throw shade. MB: Lola, you made teachers spend their own money on things that you were supposed to get for them. Lola: they should have been patient with me. LB: and that still doesn't excuse how they treated her. Admittedly, this is where I lost patience. I yelled at LB about the fact that, whether he was doing it intentionally due to some obligation to her, or if he was just that dense, he was focused on the part The fact of the matter is that anybody in their mind can see that Lola is the problem here. She had forced us to buy my own supplies, missed Starbucks, and refuses to do anything in a timely fashion, but you're focused on me and the fact that I decided to do the same thing to her. I then followed with a question, there's something I'm missing here? Are you two sleeping together? Quote, LB went silent after that. His face was beet red, but I couldn't tell if it was due to anger or shame. Nevertheless, he didn't say another word. Lola, on the other hand, Lola, I didn't do anything wrong. Me, are you kidding me? Right? You weren't going to your job. Quote, the conversation went on and on in circles with Lola using her classic lines over and over again. Eventually, MB snapped. MB, enough. Quote, I was then excused from the room and told to wait in my office. When I got back, I was given the final verdict. To make a long story short, Lola got fired for basically not doing her job and costing the company money. She tried to justify herself, but MB made it clear that the teachers shouldn't have to use their own money on things that the school should be providing. Then, she tried to ask for a second chance, but neither MB nor LB thought that she could be trusted. I mean, if it was just me, maybe. But there were multiple counts of her actions that he gathered. Finally, she tried to demand my job, stating that it was the fair thing to do. But my MB counter with my merit, as crazy as I can be at times. Again, a fair point. My students love my class and respect the work that my colleagues put into it, something that LB had to agree with it. So, Lola is out, and I didn't have to defend myself as much as I thought I did. However, had to talk to the high schoolers about what they did and make them apologize. They really didn't want to, but I did have to remind them that A, it didn't concern them, and B, they are still students that disrespected a teacher, which was wrong. Apparently, my boss is going to be the one handling the orders until they hire Lola's replacement. Everybody is pretty ecstatic about her being gone, but I'm indifferent. As I said in the previous post, I've gotten my own supplies. I just got tired of her antics and was willing to strike back. Just the way I was raised, I guess. Oh well, all's well that ends well, right? ETA. My previous post got deleted for some reason, so I'll just update this post with it. I hope it's not too long. Reminder, I am not the op. Also, do not brigade the original post or op. Gotta wonder what Lola was doing that made her busy. I got to the part where Oop straight up accused a boss of having an affair with staff. And went, yeah, that didn't happen. I've read this twice and I still don't have a damn clue what Oop meant about why African Americans specifically would understand the head tilt and I try not to nitpick spelling or grammar on posts, but considering that they teach English, self-efficient is bothering the hell out of me. I'm a bit suspect about this. It's definitely not something that could never happen, and maybe it's a work culture thing, but if I accused or questioned my boss in a work meeting of sleeping with another colleague, even if there was merit to the question, that would not slide. The fact that Oop did that and nothing was said about it makes me question Oop's storytelling here. What was Oop referring to with that, and how African Americans would understand? I'm very curious about that. If this really happened, which it didn't, the original poster is just as insufferable as Lola. Oop is kind of an asshole. Having taught in English in China myself, this story is interesting. It might be useful to note that Lola likely gets half the salary that Op does, and works double the hours. In my time working in China, it was impossible not to see that. Most of the time, Foreigners, often men, are treated like kings and the female administrators wait on them hand and foot. Of course, I don't know about this area of China specifically. MB made it clear that the teachers shouldn't have to use their own money on things that the school should be providing. As a US teacher, that brought a sad tear to my eye. Well, if this story is true, I personally think everyone here sucks. Bullying is never the solution. Just raise the issue like an adult. You may work in a school, but you aren't still teenagers. Whoa, this one is. Well, if he were my employee, he'd be on a PIP, if not let go entirely. Lola was absolutely in the wrong, but his way of handling it was terrible. His boss is clearly competent and investigated Lola based on the fallout. So why didn't Op act like an adult and simply report Lola to his boss? To mock her, and then accuse her and her boss of an affair, with nothing but speculation? Unless we're missing a lot of backstory. That's incredibly inappropriate and frankly sexist. Just because she sucked at her job doesn't mean she was having an affair with her boss. How come nobody asked Lola what is she busy about? Give a daily report of what has she done for the day. Everybody is pretty ecstatic about her being gone, but I'm indifferent. Sewer. I checked out OOP's profile, and if any of their posts are true, they sound very exhausting to be around. Lost at the conversation. Especially, some of us even know how to throw shade, and the very random accusation of them sleeping together being right and then showing it on their faces like it's a TV show. I was so into this story until I saw the dreaded word, cast. My God, this was poorly written. And I certainly don't believe half of it. Only a few paragraphs on, but am I understanding correctly that this man, a teacher, is proud of himself for teaching high school students how to bully someone? Both of their mouths dropped, and did everyone clap? We can throw shade too. Okay, this didn't happen. Accused them of an affair. If this did happen, Op needs to be fired as well, as they seem entirely unhinged. If I had an employee like Lola, she'd be gone. And if I had an employee like Op, they'd be long gone, because this is probably the worst way to handle a situation like this, and crazy unprofessional. This definitely didn't happen, lol. This is a total imagined revenge situation Op came up with when they were bored.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.